me, Erika, Elizabeth, we all look at each other and we're like, more. Charlie would be telling us, you need more people. There's not enough people. Our geo-tracking team tracked 277,000 people that day. Our geo-tracking team.
Investigators say Erika Kirk's own mother, Lori Frantzve, allegedly sits on Superfeed's board. The odds of that coincidence? Astronomical.
That's interesting that Erika Kirk's mom sits at the board of Superfeed Tech, which is a shady surveillance firm behind Turning Point USA's geofencing groups. Now apparently those who attended Charlie's memorial are being hit with propaganda from Friends of Zion, and by Mike Evans, who exploits Christians for millions. Your data is being stolen by Zio puppets, like Erika Kirk and her mom, to fund Is Not Real's wars and control you, track attendees and target you with ads.
So Mikey McCoy just said the quiet part out loud. TPUSA is basically a massive surveillance and data collection operation. Mikey admitted that Turning Point ran a geofencing campaign at Charlie's memorial, tracking over 200,000 devices. And none of those people gave consent to this. Think about that for a second. Charlie had just been assassinated. People were actually mourning. But instead of honoring his memory, Turning Point was busy harvesting data from every single person in that crowd. So here's what we need to ask then. Where does all that data go? Are they selling it? Who gets access to the data? Foreign governments? Lobbyists? Like, who are we talking about here? But there's something else I want to discuss, and many of you guys actually commented about this on my last video, and that's Erika's mom, Lori Frantzve, and her role in all this. So Lori sits on the board of this company called Superfeed Technologies, and so does Tyler Boyer. And apparently this company is scooping up massive amounts of your personal data. Now, we talked about Lori before and her shady ties to the military and defense contractors. So now I really want to dig into this and see how deep it goes. Because Erika just recently claimed her mother's very sick. So I'm trying to figure out, if she's so sick, how is she still running all these companies? And I'll get to that in a second. But first, let me show you what the amazing Mikey McCoy said on Frank Turek's podcast. Mikey admitted that TPUSA tracked and logged over 277,000 devices from people who showed up to mourn at Charlie's memorial on September 21st in Glendale, Arizona. There were no consent forms, no disclosure, just pure data harvesting. Listen to this.
You know, even for the memorial, when we were planning the memorial, we were going to do it at Desert Diamond Arena, which holds 20,000 people. And me, Erika, Elizabeth, we all look at each other and we're like, more. Charlie would be telling us, you need more people. There's not enough people. And so we jumped over to Cardinals Stadium, and we, truthfully, at first we were like, we've never done an event this big. I don't think there's ever been an event that big in the conservative movement. Our geo-tracking team tracked 277,000 people that day. Our geo-tracking team tracked 277,000 people that day.
Now, first of all, these people are way too excited and happy about attendance numbers. Like, who behaves that way right after their friend has been assassinated? I mean, really, think about the psychology here. They're literally talking about a memorial for their dead friend like it's an album drop or a sold-out arena tour. So why are they even counting? Why did Erika want more people to attend? Why were they geo-tracking people's devices? Well, apparently the people whose data was taken without permission, they started complaining that suddenly they were being flooded with donation texts, emails, and ads out of nowhere. And here's a sample of what was being sent to them. So it looks like something about Christian faith, right? There's a picture of the cross in the Bible. But then you read this part at the bottom, and there's a list of activities. And these activities include combating low American evangelical Christian approval of the nation of Israel, and training how to use biblical arguments to highlight the importance of Israel and the Jewish people to Christians. That's what they're harvesting people's data for. But it's not just people who attended Charlie's memorial. If you've ever downloaded certain conservative apps, like the TPUSA app, Turning Point Action, Early Vote Action, the Western Journal, Conservative News America, or even several state GOP apps, there's a real chance your data, including your live location, was harvested by Superfeed Technologies and possibly sold to a certain foreign nation. And that's coming from Turning Point insiders, including this guy named Matt Tucciaroni, who used to work there. He just came forward and said that all those door-knocking numbers TPUSA is always bragging about are all inflated, and maybe even made up. According to Matthew, Turning Point Action isn't a grassroots operation at all. It's a data company, and the whole door-knocking thing is basically just a smokescreen. Here's Matthew talking about this.
Yeah, I'm going to dive right into it. It's the fraud of ballot harvesting and data collection and data mining. That is what I witnessed firsthand just days before the election, and it has to do with early voting.
So Matthew is alleging that the grassroots push, the fieldwork, the voter outreach, it's all part of a much bigger grift. And right in the middle of all that is this company, Superfeed Technologies. According to Matthew, Superfeed isn't just collecting data for Turning Point. It's also supplying and fundraising other so-called grassroots, get-out-the-vote nonprofits. So basically, what's being sold to the conservative movement as activism is actually a psyop being played on the American people. By who? Well, listen to what Matthew said about who Tyler Boyer really works for.
She literally said to me, Turning Point's Mossad. Tyler Boyer is Mossad. They're all They're all neocons.
Liz Harris told you this?
Liz Harris told me this. I have the recording.
She told you Tyler Boyer was Mossad?
Yep, and neocons. They're the neocons, and they're connected to Mossad.
And by the way, this same operation is now happening on Erika's Turning Point Make Heaven Crowded tour. Same setup, same tech, same data grab. And it's all dressed up in this fake Christian message telling you to stop using common sense and stop questioning the obvious lies. Here's Erika on her tour literally telling Christians to stop being curious because it's really, really bad for them. Just accept what you're told and get on with your day.
Curiosity can totally derail us as Christians. Completely. And it doesn't allow the Lord to use your life in a way that glorifies Him. And so just keep that in mind when you're reading things and you're internalizing things. And if you try to chase down every single ridiculous accusation about yourself, you'll get nothing done.
But there's something else I want to briefly mention that's connected to this whole data harvesting and surveillance thing. The day Charlie was assassinated, witnesses claimed that a Stingray cell site simulator was on campus at UVU. And that's surveillance tech built to track phones live. And because of that, people are now asking a much bigger question. Is Turning Point actually a mass surveillance operation and not a political movement? All these apps, events, tours, they're tracking everything. Your location, your contacts, your finances, your mental health, your politics. It's all working together to profile you. And this brings me to Erika's mom, Lori, because she's allegedly deep in this operation. So you remember how we talked about Lori possibly having ties to intelligence and national security circles? Her name apparently shows up in the Intelligence and National Security Alliance, which is basically a networking hub for former intel directors, national security officials, military leadership, and private intel contractors. And according to this INSA member directory, Lori is listed as Miss Lauren Frantzve from Scottsdale, Arizona. And then Lori's companies like AZ Tech International and IMET Laboratories show up in federal vendor and procurement records alongside defense and intel-adjacent suppliers. IMET Labs specifically is tied to risk analysis tech, patents, and government contracts. And then on top of that, we find that Lori and Tyler Boyer are both sitting on the board of Superfeed Technologies. And Superfeed develops all those conservative apps that track and steal your data. But why is Erika's mom involved in this? Didn't Erika claim her mom is sick with some rare disease? Now, I'm not claiming she's lying about her mom's illness, but I'm also not saying I'm gonna believe everything she says without proof. And here's why. This footage just surfaced, showing Lori and Erika visiting the Pentagon, and people notice Lori's wearing what looks like a military rank insignia pin. But here's the thing, civilians don't wear rank insignia, so why was Lori wearing it? We don't know. And apparently, Erika thinks we shouldn't even ask because it's unchristian. But I know you guys love questions, so here are a few for you. If Erika's mom really is sick with some rare disease, how is she still running multiple companies? Could it be that Erika pushed that sick mother story to keep people from looking too closely at who her mother really is? I don't know, I'm just asking questions. And so should you. But let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, question everything.